welcome. My name is V, also known as Nirami. So, you know how I once posted a video like I think 3 weeks ago about my paranormal, I forgot a word again. I blacked out. What's the word again? Experience, right? So, and I asked you guys if you want to share some with me, the things that happened to you. And I read through some of them. So like really spooky, honestly. I got goosebumps and I got teary-eyed a few times. By the way, not because I'm sad, but I don't know how to explain this to you. This feeling when you like something feels so weird and so off, like you just get teary-eyed. I don't know why, but like whenever I would be in situations where I just kind of feel this like sense of dread or like fear, I just like get tears in my eyes. Anyway, but so yeah, and I felt like maybe I can read some of them to you and just let you know what I think about them. Stellar Stuff 13 said, my mom said when she was little she used to see a man sitting in the corner of her couch. One day she took a nap there and had the worst night terror of her life. That one is very short, but I had something to say about it because I know like whenever I hear somebody mention a night terror of her life, I remember having those specific dreams where I literally like felt like it felt so real and I was literally trying to fight back and I couldn't, and I felt like I'm being suffocated like in my dream. And I'll probably tell about like another day, but man, it literally felt like I would see different creatures, like entities, and like I would try to like scare them away and yell at them. Like I was trying to yell. I was trying to show that I'm not scared. However, it felt like somebody had my hand, like somebody had their hand like right here at my throat, so no noise came out, no matter how much I screamed. I don't know, maybe I was lying face down on the pillow and that's why I couldn't scream. I was screaming into the pillow, that's why nothing came out. But yeah, no, I get it. And those dreams would also just appear like after whenever like I would try meditation and stuff like that, where I felt like kind of calm and I would like, being able to like let go of negative thoughts and just like feel much easier, inside. And like on literally the same day when I would go to sleep, I would have those nightmares basically where I felt like I'm being chased and like choked by those entities. Zoe's World Official said, one night me and my sister were playing Disney Just Dance and we were dancing to Rotten to the Core, and a fourth a silhouette and sparkle hand appeared behind us in the hallway. We tried to figure out what it was, but we couldn't figure it out. It didn't feel bad or anything. We had a good laugh because it was getting a lot of perfects in the game. What's crazy is that it only liked to do it when we played Rotten to the Core. I will always remember this paranormal event. It never leaves my head. I really like that one as well because like comparing to the spooky ones, I do think that they're like paranormal activities that are like also just like silly and fun sometimes, because again, I do not believe that all ghosts are bad. I just personally think sometimes they're like souls roaming this earth. I think some of them don't know that they died, and just like, I don't know, there's no really like explanation there, but I just believe it's just like, like still souls that are still stuck on this earth, but still doing like their activities just like they used to. And I don't know, I do think it's kind of funny just like imagine, just like you doing Just Dance and there's like literally like out of nowhere this entity like beating you every single time and Rotten to the Core. I don't know what this ghost is doing. I don't know what their past life was like, but I think, man, they were killing and dancing. I think you literally like you made this ghost super happy and super excited because probably that's their most favorite thing to do. To Alyssa 6 said, I did experience paranormal activity, sleep paralysis, but this one stung me for a while when I was 15. My dad bought a picture at a big toy place. This is going to sound so cliche, but the photo was the Exorcist girl, and I guess they had one of the actors signed it. I think I know which one you're talking about. We're talking about the most known ones that like were dealing with ghosts and stuff. We put it in my room up, my computer desk. Like nothing big happened until my mom went out and my sibling was spending time with his uncle while me and my dad were at home. I was just laying on my bed scrolling through Instagram and I felt an aggressive throw at me from somewhere. It was a football, like my expression on my face was stunned. The direction it came from wasn't from the door frame, it was up where that picture was hanging. I ran out and asked my dad if he threw anything. He said no. I was scared at that moment and slept on a couch instead of my room. Then my dad told me that the picture he bought was haunted. We got rid of it a few days later. There's more that happened with family too. They say that there's a shadow figure in our house, mostly like in a hallway or the bathroom. Like so many things happen at times. It's scary to think about it now. Oh my god, she farted. I breathed it in. Sorry, Asya ruined the whole mood with her farts. But yeah, I do believe definitely that, you know, some objects are haunted, you know, that I think some objects carry like a specific energy with them. You know, I like to go through thrift stores sometimes, right? And sometimes, you know, like I really love old things as well, you know, because I think, you know, the older they get, the more, I forgot the word again. What's wrong with me today? But I think they're precious, okay? But sometimes when I just look at some objects, there's like this specific energy about them where it's like it looks pretty, it looks nice, and I would definitely take it with me. But I feel like I'm not supposed to touch it. I feel like it was not supposed to be touched, and it was not supposed to be like taken somewhere. It feels like one of those objects that like just supposed to exist in one place where they basically came from, you know, and they should not be touched and just left alone, you know, especially talking about that one picture. I don't know exactly which one exorcist girl you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about this one couple. I don't know the names, I forgot their names, but again, I would not be surprised, you know. And talking about the house as well, I do wonder if like with that picture as well, if you kind of like invited some entities into your house too, you know, to the point where they're like not just because of the picture but also because of the house itself. Now talking about, you know, like shadow figures and shadow entities, and not knowing exactly why they're there and what they're supposed to do, but you just know that they're there. I guess, you know, they're trying to get to you sometimes, trying to scare you in some way, like to, you know, to feed off your energy. Yeah, it's definitely spooky. That's why me personally, I do not take old things to my home. I'm very careful with what I take home with me because I do not want to invite anything in that like is not supposed to be there. And yeah, just there's sometimes you just see something and you just feel like I'm not supposed to take this. I am not welcome to take this. Like I do not think like that's a good idea. Man, I even remember like I was looking around and they're like, I was also looking for, I cannot talk today. I was looking for some accessories and I found some rings. But for some reason, even though those were very beautiful rings, I felt like some type of energy around those rings, in a sense of like, it felt like somebody just took them off the corpse, you know, and just like took them and now they're trying to sell them. And it felt like this. It felt like this object was taken away from someone, you know, and from some entity, and it's not supposed to belong to someone else. It was supposed to be left where it was at, you know. Marco Antonio Guerrero Gonzalez, sorry if I butchered your name, 9913 said, in Mexico we speak of a monster named Nahual, which is like a human who can turn into animal, and they tend to get into houses and steal kids, like Fae, and they have the power to put the parents into paralysis. One thing that I do love is about stories and I forgot what you call this, like not, you know, like how every culture like have their own monsters and like legends and stuff like that. I know from so many because I keep reading and like I just think it's super interesting how it like depends on where we grow up and the stories behind it as well. Like I remember like last time I asked my best friend Mola, because she's Thai, and I asked her like what type of legends they have, you know, and she showed me like a lot of them, and I was like, man, that's like so scary but also like interesting because they all have backstories. They did not just like start existing out of thin air. Like there was a reason how they came to be, and it's very interesting to hear. And definitely about that one, that's also very interesting. I think maybe I've heard a story about it too. It was definitely about something, you know, trying to take the kids away. Not sure about the parents being paralyzed stuff, but man, it's interesting. As a matter of fact, like I said, like even in Slavic mythology, one of them that I heard numerous times before, because I think my parents would talk about them a lot too, is the Mavoi. Let me explain to you quickly. In the Slavic religious tradition, the Mavoi, one of the household, like translated pretty much, it's from again like the Slavic folklore. Basically, the Mavoi is a household spirit appearing under various names and having its origin in ancestor worship. A Mavoi dwells in any number of places in each home, near the oven, under the doorstep, in the hearth. He never goes out beyond the boundaries of the household. he also acts like as a guardian, protecting the home itself and also the people who inhabit the home. And I guess the silly thing about him as well is just like that he can also be like mischievous. He can also just like do weird things, I guess. And his behavior also depends on how you treat him, basically. Obviously, if you treat him well, he's gonna bring you a lot of luck and again, protection, right? But if you neglect him and you kind of disrespect him, it can lead to a lot of things like, you know, just like banging noises out of nowhere, or just like there are suddenly things missing. You know, you put them there and then suddenly they're missing. And it can even come to a point where he can eventually physically hurt the family members, but I don't think that bad, maybe just a little bit, you know, like not actually like scratch or anything, but something like a pinch, you know. So that's what I mean, it's still kind of silly. And I think one of the interesting things is like as well, this is like one of those like folklore spirits. Whenever a family moves home, you know, they basically they invite their domovoi to another home. Like if I'm gonna move away from my apartment, I'm gonna need to invite my domovoi that's in my apartment to my new apartment, you know. So because like again, it's my guardian that protects my home, you know, and I just invite him with me wherever I go. And the way by doing that is just to simply like take some old object from the previous apartment and take it with you to a new one, so that he can basically follow you to the new apartment. Funny enough, when it comes to new houses, sometimes it's actually not a good thing, because it can kind of disturb the previous domovoi. If I'm gonna start building a house like here or something like that, and there was already one living in here, then he's gonna get disturbed because that was his home, right? And I guess you can also give him like a little bit sacrifices, like milk. He really loves milk. So yeah, I don't know, I just think it's one of them like coming into my head right now, which I always kind of liked, because he's silly, you know, he's silly, and it's kind of comforting to know that there might be one with you in your house, and he's kind of the protector. But you know, if he's not being, you know, if you don't respect him and you kind of neglect him, he's gonna steal your shit. Okay, he's gonna take your shit and put it away, or he's gonna pinch you, like, yeah. And honestly, guys, I constantly keep losing things. I put them right here and then next second they're gone. I feel like he might be a little bit upset with me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna need to put up some milk, and then he's gonna be angry at Asya because Asya's gonna drink all the milk. Yeah, exactly. So those were a few stories that I found, and I really enjoyed reading them. I was also really enjoyed talking about it too, from my like experience as well and things. So yeah, if you have some more, feel free sharing them, you know. If you want, I would love to make another one. I really love just reading people's stories. Also, if you're curious which video I was talking about, you can check it out right here. This is the video where I was talking about my paranormal experience, you know, which is also kind of spooky again. So yeah, take care of yourself, guys. Get yourself a little treat. If you like the video, please like. Don't forget to follow and hit the notification bell button, because YouTube never tells you actually if I upload something. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.